Just days before everything fell apart, life had felt deceptively peaceful. I woke up each morning beside the man I believed I would marry. His steady breathing a quiet comfort in the half-light. We talked about baby names, weekend plans, and the future as if it were something solid, something we could both depend on. My sister often stopped by with her easy laugh and effortless charm, filling the house with warmth that now feels sickeningly false in memory. Back then, I had no reason to question the small things, the sudden silences, the half-smiles exchanged between them, or the nights he claimed to be working late. I was too busy planning a life, too trusting to notice the cracks. Then came that one ordinary evening, when his phone lit up and curiosity led me to the messages that changed everything. The words I read burned into my mind, betrayal wrapped in laughter, secrets hidden behind my back. In that moment, the world I thought I knew shattered quietly, like glass breaking in the dark. I didn't scream or cry. I just stared at the screen, numb, realizing that calmness can sometimes be the cruelest warning before the storm arrives. For days I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, their words replayed in my mind. Mocking, intimate, merciless. I kept asking myself how long it had been going on, searching through old memories like puzzle pieces that suddenly fit in the worst possible way. The family dinners where they shared quiet glances, the moments my sister defended him during small arguments, the mysterious text he received during my birthday dinner. It all made sense now, and it made me sick. But what terrified me most wasn't the betrayal itself. It was what would happen if I exposed it. I imagined the humiliation, the judgment, the whispers behind my back. Yet, the thought of pretending nothing happened felt even heavier, like drowning in silence. I called my best friend one night, my voice trembling as I told her everything. She listened quietly, then said softly, "If you stay silent, they win. Silence only protects the guilty." Her words struck deep. I spent one more sleepless night staring at the ceiling, heart pounding with both fear and defiance. By morning, I knew what I had to do. I wouldn't let them twist the truth. I would speak no matter how much it cost me. The morning of the family gathering, my hands shook as I held the phone. My mother's familiar voice answered, warm and unsuspecting. For a moment, I almost pretended everything was normal, but the truth pressed against my chest like a weight I couldn't ignore. "Mom," I began, my voice trembling but steady, "I'm breaking off the engagement." There was a pause, then confusion, then concern. "What? Why? Did something happen?" "There's more you all need to know," I said quietly. "But I can't explain it over the phone." She sighed, already anxious. "Please, sweetheart, don't make a scene. Whatever it is, we can talk privately." "I'll stay calm," I promised, though my heart was pounding so hard it hurt. I could hear her breathing quicken on the other end, but I didn't waver. When I hung up, I stood in silence for a long moment, then took one deep, steadying breath and walked out the door. When I arrived, the house smelled like roast chicken and cinnamon. Comforting, familiar, deceptively normal. Laughter drifted from the living room, where my family sat chatting, completely unaware that their world was about to fracture. My fiancé stood near the window, smiling easily, glass of wine in hand, like he hadn't destroyed everything sacred between us. My sister sat beside him, her expression calm but her eyes avoiding mine. That single act of avoidance told me she knew this moment was coming. My mother greeted me with a nervous smile, trying to usher me toward the kitchen. "Sweetheart, let's talk first, just us," she whispered urgently. I shook my head. "No, Mum. Not this time." I stepped into the living room, every heartbeat echoing in my ears. The chatter died instantly. My father looked up from his paper, puzzled. My daughter played quietly in the corner, unaware of the tension thickening the air. "I need everyone to listen," I said, my voice steady but cold. My sister rolled her eyes dramatically. My fiancé mumbled something under his breath, probably a plea for me to stay silent. I ignored them both. The room grew still, the kind of silence that hums before a storm. My hands trembled, but I didn't back down. For the first time, I wasn't scared of the truth. I was ready to expose it, Every last, ugly piece of it. My hands shook as I unlocked my phone, the same device that had revealed their betrayal. I opened the screenshots, my heart pounding like a drum. "I'm going to read something," I said quietly, scanning their faces. My mother looked confused, my father concerned. My sister folded her arms defensively, while my fiancé forced a faint smile, pretending nothing was wrong. The first message slipped from my lips, my voice trembling but clear. "She'll never find out. She's too naive for that." I looked up, my eyes meeting his. His face went pale. My sister's cheeks flushed crimson. I continued reading. Cruel jokes about me being boring, about my pregnancy making me too emotional to notice anything. Each word burned like acid in the air. My sister suddenly jumped to her feet. "This is ridiculous. You're twisting things," she shouted, her voice shaking. But I lifted the phone higher, showing them the timestamps, the matching messages, the undeniable evidence. "Do these look twisted?" I asked, my voice breaking. The room fell into a heavy silence. My mother covered her mouth, eyes wide. My father just stared at the floor, his knuckles white against his chair. My fiancé finally spoke, his tone sharp and defensive. "You're overreacting," he snapped. "You're pregnant, you're not thinking clearly. You're misinterpreting." "Enough," I interrupted, tears streaking down my cheeks. "Don't you dare blame this on me or my pregnancy. You betrayed me. Both of you did." The room erupted. My sister crying, my fiancé cursing under his breath, my mother whispering prayers. But I kept reading until the last word was spoken. Every sentence stripped away their lies until nothing was left but the raw, ugly truth. The moment the last message left my lips, chaos erupted. My fiancé's chair scraped violently against the floor as he shot up. His face twisted with rage and embarrassment. "You're insane," he shouted before storming toward the door. The sound of it slamming behind him echoed through the house like a final verdict. My sister stood frozen for a moment, then crumbled to the floor in tears. "You've humiliated me for nothing," she screamed, her voice raw, trembling with a mix of guilt and fury. I didn't move to comfort her. I just stood there, numb, watching as the person I once trusted most shattered under her own lies. My father finally raised his head, his voice low and hollow. "Is this true?" he asked. My sister said nothing, her silence louder than any confession. My mother sat between us, tears streaking her face, whispering, "Please, stop, both of you." But there was nothing left to stop. The truth was already out. I turned, grabbed my coat, and walked out without another word. The cold night air hit me like a shock, sharp and clean. For the first time in weeks, I could finally breathe, even if every breath still hurt. In the days that followed, my phone became a battlefield of notifications. Every few hours, a new message appeared from my ex-fiancé. First pleading, then furious. One moment he was apologizing, saying he'd made a mistake and couldn't live without me. The next, he accused me of humiliating him, of making a private matter public. His words shifted like quicksand, never steady, never sincere. My sister wasn't any better. Her calls came late at night, her voice dripping with venom. "You've ruined my life," she spat once before I hung up. She sent long, furious texts blaming me for exposing her, for turning the family against her. Not once did she say sorry. Not once did she take responsibility. Then came the messages from relatives and friends. Some shocked, some curious, some pretending to care but only hungry for gossip. I knew exactly what was happening. They were rewriting the story, painting themselves as victims of my dramatic outburst. I read a few, then stopped. Their opinions no longer mattered. I blocked their numbers one by one, silencing the noise. For the first time there was peace in my phone, and though the truth had cost me nearly everything, it was finally, undeniably out. When the chaos finally ended, the silence was unbearable. My home, once filled with noise and warmth, now felt hollow, each room echoing with memories I wanted to forget. The adrenaline that had fueled my confrontation was gone, leaving behind only exhaustion and a deep, aching emptiness. Some nights I cried until my throat burned. Other nights I just sat in the dark, staring at nothing, feeling absolutely numb. The fear crept in quietly. How would I raise my children alone? How could I ever trust anyone again? The questions circled endlessly, offering no comfort. Then, from the next room, my daughter's laughter would break through the quiet, a sound so pure it pulled me back to myself. At night, I'd place my hand on my growing belly, feeling the tiny movements inside. It was in those small, fleeting moments that I found fragments of peace, fragile but real. After days of drifting between anger and numbness, I finally forced myself to act. I couldn't let grief paralyze me, not when my child's future depended on me. I searched for a family lawyer, someone reputable and kind, and made the call. My voice shook as I explained everything, but she listened patiently, without judgment. The consultation was draining yet strangely empowering. We discussed custody arrangements, financial support, and the legal steps to ensure my ex could no longer manipulate or neglect his responsibilities. Each form I signed felt like reclaiming a small piece of control I'd lost. When it was over, the lawyer looked at me and said gently, "You're doing the right thing, for yourself and for your children." Those words stayed with me. As I walked out of her office, the weight on my chest eased slightly. For the first time in weeks, I felt capable of rebuilding my life. In the weeks that followed, the family fractured like shattered glass. My sister stopped showing up to gatherings altogether, retreating into silence, or perhaps hiding from the truth she still refused to admit. My ex, on the other hand, began reaching out to mutual friends, twisting the story, painting himself as the victim of my overreaction. Some believed him. Others stayed quiet, unsure which side to take. My parents were caught in the middle. My father kept his distance, too disappointed to speak, while my mother tried endlessly to mend what couldn't be fixed. "She's still your sister," she pleaded once over the phone. "You can't carry this anger forever." But I wasn't carrying anger. I was carrying clarity. Forgiveness isn't healing when the wound is still open and raw. So I chose silence, distance, and peace. Sometimes protecting yourself means letting family ties unravel for good. Healing didn't happen overnight. It came in small, quiet steps. I began writing again, filling pages with my thoughts, fears, and moments of gratitude for the few who stayed beside me when everything collapsed. Journaling became my therapy, a way to untangle the chaos inside my head. One afternoon, I decided to redecorate the house. I took down photos, packed away his things, and replaced the emptiness with soft colors and new memories. Each change, no matter how small, made the space feel more like mine again. I still carried the scars, but they no longer defined me. I realized that exposing them, the betrayal, the lies, had never been about revenge. It was about reclaiming my dignity, my voice, and my strength. For the first time in a long while, I looked at myself in the mirror and didn't see a victim. I saw someone unafraid of the truth. Betrayal has a strange way of clarifying everything. It strips away the illusions you once clung to and forces you to see people for who they truly are. I used to believe that love alone could hold things together, that family, no matter what, was unbreakable. But now I understand that love without respect is just an illusion, and loyalty that comes with conditions isn't loyalty at all. I've mourned them both. My sister and the family I thought I had. There are moments when I still ache for what used to be, for the laughter that once filled our lives before deceit poisoned it. But I no longer crave their presence or their approval. What I've gained in return is far more precious: clarity, strength, and peace. Sometimes freedom doesn't come from holding on. It comes from letting go and trusting that truth will always set you free. Months have passed, and the sharp edges of pain have softened into something quieter, something I can live with. My pregnancy is progressing well, each heartbeat at every appointment reminding me that life continues, no matter how broken things once were. My daughter has adjusted too, her laughter filling the spaces that used to echo with arguments and lies. Therapy has helped more than I expected. Talking, crying, and confronting the mess inside me have brought a strange kind of peace. I've surrounded myself with a small circle of people who genuinely care. Friends who don't ask for details or gossip, just listen and support. I'm no longer angry. The bitterness that once consumed me has faded into determination. The truth hurt, but it also freed me. I'm finally building a home grounded in honesty, strength, and love, the kind that can't be taken away or betrayed. Months later, I returned to my parents' house for the first time since that day. The air felt calmer now. No tension, no unspoken words hanging between us. My sister wasn't there, and though a part of me noticed her absence, I didn't feel the ache I once did. My mother met me at the door and pulled me into a long, trembling hug. "I'm so sorry," she whispered, her voice thick with regret. "I should have seen it sooner." I smiled softly and shook my head. "It's okay, Mom. We all see the truth when we're ready." Inside, my father sat quietly, offering a small nod of understanding. I looked out the window and saw my daughter playing in the garden, her laughter floating through the breeze. A warmth spread through me. "At least everyone knows the truth now," I whispered to myself. Finally, peace didn't feel distant. It felt deserved.